The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the Book.
You covered! You covered 12! Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, Brigade? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. Dave Sherapan, Matt Perrault will be joined by a guest here in just 1 second. The last name is somewhat of a debate. We think we know it, but we might not know it. We do know that we're live on our YouTube channel, though, at Boston versus the Book. The same on Twitter X. We are replayed on Sports Grid Television and Sirius XM channel 159. If you guys are watching on the replay there or on the YouTube replay, drop us a note. Tell us hi. Appreciate you guys being here. Dave, we got breaking news out of the gate involving the NBA, but we'll talk college basketball today as well. How are you on this Tuesday?
Good. Yeah. Had the, hats lined up, everything ready to go. And then got that breaking news. Denver Nuggets coach gets fired. Wow. Okay. So had to go get the Denver Nuggets hat. Can't decide which one though. Which one do you think? Which one do you like better? I mean,
well, I would wear the one on the right. That's so I wouldn't wear the left, but the left is the kids would like the left.
Yeah.
And it's the old school 1970s Nuggets logo. That's more the modern.
Right.
New age.
Yeah.
Darker.
Can't decide. I don't know. We'll decide here in a minute when we get to it. We got to Jake is joining us to talk about the Masters in about 20 minutes from now.
So would you say Circus we've been talking about this off the air. To Brigade. How do you guys say his last name? Is it Cyprus or Circus or Circus?
I already know how I'm saying it. Sirkus. Looks like circus.
Okay.
Pretty simple. So, we'll find out if it's Masters is going to be a circus. A guy put out a tremendous thread on the Twitter about it. I said, you know what? Let's call Jake and see if we can come on the show. Jake's coming on the show. So we'll talk Masters for a little bit. It's Tuesday of Masters week. Is this the day you talk about it, or do you do it tomorrow?
I think the betting is today, and I think the breakdown is today and tomorrow. Obviously, you're going to talk about gambling, but then the actual event itself is obviously Thursday. The par 3 is unbelievable on Wednesday. That will get a lot of attention with the kids and the wives and girlfriends and everything else that comes with the par 3. Hopefully, the weather will be nice at Augusta for it. So that kind of takes over tomorrow a little bit. So I think today is a very good day to talk about the actual betting on it and breaking down the field as to what will happen coming up on Thursday.
Right. Okay.
So I say today. So I like today. I like Jake coming on for today. But as you mentioned, breaking news. They didn't just fire Michael Malone in Denver. They fired everyone, including the general manager was fired today. Calvin Booth got let go as well. So I initially thought, okay, this is the Ime Udoka situation. Like, you're firing your head coach? When? Like, what? How do you fire a head coach in April? Like, why would you do that? This is bizarre. Like, I don't know. What is Denver? Yeah, they're cleaning house. But why are you cleaning house before the playoffs? You're making the announcement that you're dead? You can't.
There's obviously something going on in the building, though.
I don't know, because if it was just the head coach, I would agree. But the head coach and the GM are both out. Like, that, there's something really, really weird going on with this. Like, I'm really concerned. Just look, the standings. The Nuggets are 4th in the West. They have a record of 47-32.
I felt like we were legit talking about them being the team that was going to make the trouble the most for OKC just a couple weeks ago. And now
it did. Doesn't Jokic play for Denver? Yes.
Hockey guy, one of our wrenches, Addison. Yes. Welcome to the show, Addison. This is not an F1 portion of the show, but it could be, because they hit the gas and said, See you later.
I'm with Corbin. I think this feels.
Whoa.
I'm with him. This is what I think. As I said, it feels like an Ime Udoka situation. This feels like ownership knows what's going to come out here in the next couple of days, that there's a pending story on something in this franchise, and they're going to get rid of everybody because of it. And they're saying, hey, we got rid of the second we heard about it, we fired everybody. Because otherwise, if this is a basketball related decision, Michael Malone has won a championship. They are the 4 seed in the West. They have Jokic. They've been hurt. I mean, Westbrook isn't great. I am like so blown away by this decision by the Denver Nuggets ownership in April. If you want to do it after the year is over and say, okay, Michael Malone didn't live up to expectations and the roster, we have spent a lot of money, we expected to be better, all the different cliche stuff you want to use, that's fine. I get that. I do not understand why you do it on April the 8th when there's like 3 or 4 games left in the regular season and then the playoffs start. Like, why now? Why do you need to do it right now?
I don't know. I see Laudalino Garcia, weird breaking news, bold take. I don't know, Laudalino, but thank you for being here. No idea. I mean, no idea what it could be.
Yes, Brendan. It causes complete chaos in the locker room. There's no debating this. Like
Jokic being a massive supporter of Malone, does this cause chaos in the locker room?
I mean, what would you be doing with the numbers right now? If you're in the risk room and this comes down, what do you do with the numbers and the Nuggets for the rest of the year? Do you drop them? Do you say they're dead? They're not winning the championship. So make them, 100-1.
No,
like
first thing you do is just today. Did they play today? Yes, they played today. Where are they at? No, they don't play today.
No, they're off till tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So you don't have to do anything specific today with the game. Yeah, I think you have to, look at where are they at right now? They the 4 seed?
Yes.
So they'd be the 4-5. Who would they play?
This is your current at the today. It could change because the West is topsy-turvy, but this is your 4-5 is Nuggets Clippers.
Wow, they play the Clippers. Woo, baby.
Yeah, if you play anybody on that raw, anybody in the top 6 is going to be tough, though. The West is going to be an absolute gauntlet.
Yeah.
But don't you wait to see if he pulls, the team goes ahead and does something special?
I don't know. I mean, a guy just won a championship 2 years ago. They just won a championship. How bad could it be? It must be really bad.
Well, according to the statement by Josh Kroenke, the vice chairman of Kroenke Sports and Entertainment, in the statement released by the team when they announced it, this decision was not made lightly and eventually very carefully, and we do it only with the intention of giving our group the best chance at competing for the 2025 NBA championship and delivering another title to Denver and our fans everywhere. Huh? While the timing of this decision is unfortunate, as Coach Malone helped to build the foundation of our now championship level program, it is a necessary step to allow us to compete at the highest level right now, meaning Malone was the problem. Championship level standards and expectations remain in place for the current season. And as we look to the future, we look to build on the foundation laid by Coach Malone over his record-breaking 10-year career in Denver.
Yikes.
They're claiming this is for a positive, meaning
reasons. Yeah,
this is basketball reasons because the ownership believes that Denver would be better without Michael Malone than with Michael Malone. That's a bold take.
It's quite a sales pitch. I don't know. I mean, how are fans going to react? Like the pressure now. What do you got? 3 games left. Brendan says, Dave, how long do you pull them off the futures board if it's you? Not a second.
Really?
Not a second.
You leave them up?
Yes. And just see what is somebody going to bet against them? Because he's gone. Is somebody going to bet on them because he's gone? Wow. I don't know. I'll let them.
It's like a Luka situation. We're comparing Michael Malone to Luka. I mean, remember, Luka Doncic has been the most controversial trade in the history of the NBA. And Luka goes back, by the way, in 2 days to to Dallas with the Lakers for the first time.
That's nice.
That's coming up in 2 days.
Nice. That'll
Actually,
be good.
yeah, no, it's tomorrow. Actually, no, it's tomorrow. Today and tomorrow. Lakers play today at OKC. They play at Dallas tomorrow. So it's tomorrow for that. I don't know.
I
if
don't
it's,
move anything. I mean, I leave it sit and see what happens. I don't think. I mean, if I'm betting, I'm probably betting against them. Depending on the matchup. But I mean, there's a lot of people that like the Clippers. This might work out perfectly if it's 4-5.
right.
You saw G and his brother down at the live show at Resorts World. Those guys are on the Clippers. I mean, they have a couple futures that went to Florida,
Right.
to the Clippers to win the West. I mean, to pick up 6 figures. So, man, I don't know. Do you think that's a good question, Laudolino. Do you think they didn't ask Jokic?
No, I don't think that they didn't. I mean, he's a Malone guy. So I don't think this situation is it a dead cat bounce situation? I mean, yeah, probably I would say, but this is a little bit on the different side because a dead cat bounce. Normally the team is bad and they fire their coach and they rally because they realize all their jobs are on the line. So the team goes and plays above their ability. This is different. This might be a reverse situation because the team might actually know what was going on behind the scenes. And the team feels like, okay, when this comes out, it's going to be really bad. Like there has to be
our
more.
nature to assume that it's something more.
There has to
might just be somebody just said, "Why are we stink right now?"
How does a team with 47 wins in the 4th seed stink?
I don't know. I mean, again,
how is that possible?
Some people think this show stinks.
That's fine, but you can't. And you know what? If I had a 47-23 record or whatever the hell they have, you want to call it? You want to say it stinks? I'll take that record any damn day.
You can spin it any way you want.
They're 47-32, Dave. They're 15 games over 500.
This
is not a bad team.
Which is in the middle of the pack in the West.
But all you do is get into the playoffs. I mean, that's like saying the Boston Celtics aren't good because they're the 2nd seed. Like they're the 4 seed. Like this can't be spun as a basketball related thing. Well, I know we're trying to do a clean show, but I just let me say this. Unless he walked into Kroenke's office and told him to fuck off to his face. Like,
whoa!
Like what are we doing? Like how are you firing him for basketball related? This is malpractice. Yeah. If it's for basketball related issues. Now, again, if other stuff comes out and like if Jokic went to ownership and say, I can't play for this guy anymore. Okay. Well, that's on Jokic. Now he's a coach assassinator and he has a whole new, thing around him. But that's not the way that he approaches the game. I mean, this guy just likes to play basketball and go play with his horses. Like Jokic is not a coach killer. So what are we doing? Like who called the code red? Because something went down here.
Yeah.
Stinks. Like this does not come off like a logical decision. Again, if they were swept out by the Clippers in the first round, and you could say our standard is to play championship level basketball, I'll give it to you. Okay. I mean, they
took a preemptive strike to avoid.
How do you do a preemptive strike before the playoffs? Like,
I mean,
like how do you
before they fire coaches in other teams and other leagues? But again, I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying put yourself in some other person's position where they're going, we're not going to win this first round series. There's something wrong in the locker room. We got to make a change, blah, 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 blah. Well, hold on. We won 47 games. We're going to end up winning 50 games. They're going to go under their season win total, it looks like, boys and girls. So if you have that over.
I know, but do you have a generational player? Do you have who I think is the MVP, even though the odds say it's SGA? Like, do you have a guy with championship pedigree? Like, you have a center who can raise the game of every single player on the court.
Yeah.
He is a transformational, generational center. One of, if not the top 5 best centers to ever play the game.
Yeah.
And unless he walked in and said, I'm not playing for him anymore, this decision, and that's why I'm referencing this, because the last time I was this stunned about a coaching fire was when the Celtics fired Ime Udoka. And everybody was like, wait, what? How do you fire Ime Udoka? Like, what are you doing? He went to the finals last year. He lost to the Lakers. Like, he went to the NBA finals. How do you fire a guy? And we found out that he was dipping his pen in company ink, and it didn't work. And that was it. goodbye. See you later. We found
But
out
I mean, like
afterwards.
Budenholzer, right, won a championship in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Got a season, and then just like this, got
Yeah,
fired.
and Giannis got him fired. Giannis wanted him out.
Well,
So, like,
okay,
if
so
Jokic wants him out, I will agree that, okay, if your star player, if your guy, your number one, your everything decides that the team cannot go because the impediment is the coach and you must remove that for the team to reach its potential, I'll give it to you. Okay. But we have never heard that from Nikola Jokic. Like, that is not the way this guy has been either
did you
portrayed.
see Russell Westbrook interview the other
Yeah,
day?
but what power does he have? Russell
I'm not
Westbrook.
saying he has any power, but like he left that locker room the other day and faced, avoided the media for a couple games, and then he came out and he gave answers that said, I don't know. You're gonna have to ask. I don't know. I'm not speaking for the locker room. I don't know. When you're winning and things are going smooth, no one does that. So
Fair.
there's obviously
Westbrook does.
Well,
Westbrook does. He's a cancer. Everyone knows this. Westbrook is all about Westbrook. That's about it. That's all he cares about. That's it. He's all about himself. He's all about his own personal stats. He's all about his own personal accolades. It's why he's never won a championship. So, like, that's Westbrook. Yeah, I agree. Our Malone got into a big disagreement with upper management. Like I said, he walked in and told the ownership to F off. Like, he did something that caused him to be, we can't have him anymore. Like, he disrespected us to the level that we had to make this decision. Or Jokic did it.
Do you think somebody said, listen, we got to lose these last 2 or 3 games and be in the 4 seed, so we play this team and we avoid them? Or like, do you think there was something about that maybe that could have been a
we're going that Machiavellian that
I don't know
games to come up with seeding, so we got to fire the coach to get there. That seems
because he wouldn't play ball. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They were telling him to lose.
What do you mean you're not going to lose games? Or you're going to sit these guys. The rotation's going to be you're not going to play them, and this is what we want. I mean, you see NFL coaches,
right? No, I think you're
last game and get fired. I don't know if it's.
I agree. He was told to do something, and he didn't want to do it. What that was, what that is, only Michael Malone and the Kroenke family really know what that happened. Like this, but again, it's April 8th. It's April 8th.
Memphis just fired their coach. They got the same record. Nobody's talking about that.
Because Memphis hasn't won a championship. They're trying to get to where Denver has been.
Fair.
When you win a championship, you normally get, and Ja Morant's got huge issues. Just the finger gun salute thing. And like, there's a whole mess going on in Memphis that we thought wasn't going on in Denver. I guess there is. And the team is making this upheaval because they think it's for the betterment of the franchise to fire a coach on April the 8th before we go to the postseason in 2 weeks. I don't understand.
It's really hard to believe.
I don't understand. I think that there's a lot of Corbin said Malone told Braun to stop mean mugging after each dunk and Jokic didn't like it. I don't think we fire people over that though.
I don't know. Corbin's a Denver guy.
I know, but like we're firing a guy over Jokic.
I don't think so.
That seems to be a little
dramatic. Hope not.
Yeah, as Daniel is saying, three of the last 4 coaches who have won a championship from 2020 to 23 have now been fired.
Boy, it really is a "what have you done for me lately" thing, huh?
Oh yeah, as pointed out by ESPN, Michael Malone's firing 4 of the last 6 coaches to win the NBA Finals are no longer with the team that they coached. Nick Nurse fired by the Raptors, Frank Vogel fired by the Lakers, Budenholzer fired by the Bucks, and now Michael Malone fired by the Nuggets after his championship. I'm talking timing. I'm not so much opposed to firing coaches when you think the coach has run its course. Like you need a new voice, you need a new leader. I get all of that. But to fire him on April the 8th, knowing the playoffs are about to start and you're going to go through the gauntlet of the West, and you should never waste a single playoff run of Nikola Jokic's career. And you have put a massive distraction into that locker room where they must think that, that things are going to get easier now that they've removed him.
I don't know, but you ain't got time to bring in a coach. So I mean,
No, they're elevating Edelman.
Gets the job.
Yeah, it's the kid of Rick Edelman.
Okay.
So Rick Edelman's kid gets the job.
Man.
So, he was assistant coach, but like David Edelman, lead assistant, will take over. I mean, again, this feels like a coup. This feels like somebody got somebody offed. Like somebody went ahead and did a character assassination or something to take down Michael Malone here.
So, guys, NBA heads in the chat. Kyle, I'm talking to you. Marcus Doughboy, whoever else is watching, listening. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The likes are going up every day. The views are going up every day, and the viewing time's going up every day. So we see where you guys work, and we're trying to do the same thing. In the chat, does Denver win a first-round series? Don't know who they're playing, but I just want to get a feel. Right now, it's the Clippers. The way it's falling, it could be the Lakers. It's probably one of those two. I don't think they fall all the way down to have to get Houston, which it could be Houston. So do they win a first-round series, yes or no? Just type it in the chat, yes or no. Who cares?
Nuggets are still 30-1 to win it all. Excuse me. They are the 6th choice, tied with the Knicks at FanDuel to win it all. To win the Western Conference, Jokic is still to be the NBA Finals MVP. Jokic is 31-1 on that.
The Finals MVP?
Yep.
Oh,
Jokic is 31-1.
No.
To win the Western.
Jackie in Florida in the chat. Good to see you here, Jackie. She says no.
10-1 Nuggets to win the West. Thunder, Lakers, Warriors, Nuggets. They are the 4th option on the board.
We're looking at reasons why to figure out teams to cross off the list, I think, as you get closer to this end. Corbin says yes, not surprised. T. Boyd said no. Laudino says he beat the Clippers. Butchie, no, I don't think so. This is great. You see what I mean? Like this is why you don't move nothing. You just let them bet, right? Just let them go. Shades of Jerry Jones. That's a low blow. T. Boyd, what are you talking about? Wow. Jimmy Jack with 4Ks. If seeds 4 through 7 win the rest of their games, Nuggets will actually be the 7 seed because of the tiebreaker. Wow. And they get Houston. Houston be the 2 seed.
Well, 7 seeds in the play-in. They got to play the play-in if that happens. So, I mean, it's not
right.
But again, that takes a lot, like for all that to happen. That's, 4 teams winning out. Probably not going to happen.
My goodness.
So again, I don't want to play Denver. I don't want to play Jokic. I don't want to play at altitude.
Nola says they'll definitely win. I don't think you can definitely say anything. Xenophone?
Not right now.
I don't know. I think it's tough. I would move nothing. We got to wait and see how this plays out. Do they win tomorrow? They play Sacramento tomorrow, right?
Yeah, let's see the rest of the schedule. I'll give it to you right now. The rest of the schedule for the Denver Nuggets, for them, with a 47-32 record, they're 15 games over 500, and they will play first at Sacramento. Then they'll play home on Friday against Memphis. That will be an awkward game. And then they end the year on Sunday at the Rockets.
Huh. Wow.
They should win at least 1, if not 2 of those games. Their record they are 1-1 against the Rockets this year. They are 1-1 against Memphis this year, and they are 3-0 against the Kings this year. So as of right now, there's no lineup on it, but they should be favored on the road at Sacramento.
100%. Yeah.
So even with this news, they should be favored.
This is another storyline heading into the NBA playoffs. That's great.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there's no line for tomorrow, even though there is a line for the Lakers in the Mavericks game tomorrow. Lakers are 5.5 point road.
There'll be a line. You guys check your apps for wherever you're at, and if you see a line on Nuggets and Kings, I mean, just make tomorrow 6 and see what happens. Nuggets 6, and let's go take bets.
How about that?
6.
All right. So that kind of threw a little bit of a wrench in the start of the show because of that, because we weren't really expecting that. So we'll get to the Gators National Championship on the other side of this, because as we told you, we're going to talk some golf. We're going to ask Jake from BR Betting how to say his last name, because there is some level of a conversation as to how to say Jake's last name. He joined us for the first time here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Jake, Matt, and Dave, how are you? We're debating how to say your last name.
No, I am doing great. It is Circus. So
it is. Dave was right.
I wasn't. I'm not sure who. Okay, so you got it right. Yeah, it's just how I guess how it reads.
So I mean, I got to ask you right off the bat. So first of all, you are the first guest in the history of this show that we've never spoken to before, either one of us,
right?
On to just book on the show.
Fair.
But you did such an unbelievable job with that post yesterday, and it popped up in my feed. I said, I got to get Jake on. So thanks for joining us. But I mean, this is the kind of show we run here. How much shit have you taken for a last name with Circus?
Oh, I'm 22, and for like 17 years it's been the same thing. So I mean, I've gotten just about everything you can possibly think of, like every joke you can possibly think of. But at this point in my life, nothing is new. So I can't really get surprised anymore.
All right, you leave it to the chat, because the chat's going to go to work and coming up with some sort of circus thing here for you. But this is great. So nothing new, but like the Masters is nothing new for a lot of people. And the Masters, everyone knows the holes, everybody knows the tournaments, everybody knows, front 9, back 9, amen corner, blah, 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 blah. One thing they don't know is the live guys. Like, how do you handicap, Jake, the live guys? That's my big question this week, because I'm thinking about how would I put numbers up on Jon Rahm. Like, I have no idea. I mean, they're going to bet Koepka. Okay, but should he be 30-1, 40-1, or 20-1? I have no idea. What is your handicap with that?
Well, what makes that so interesting every time we get to Augusta, especially with Liv now in its third year, is you've got 4 of those guys who have won majors. More than that, because you have DJ, Phil. You have 5 guys who have won Masters from Liv. So the only reason they're in these majors is because they've won the tournaments. They've, accumulated the points from the majors. So that's why they're playing in here. That's why they qualify, and the other Liv guys don't. But guys like Jon Rahm are still consensusly, I would say, a top 5 golfer in the world. But where it gets really interesting is a guy like Patrick Reed, who won the Masters out of nowhere in 2018 and hasn't been doing a whole lot on Liv. And you have a guy like Sergio, who is playing right now the best golf of his life. The last couple of times he's been at Augusta has not been great since his win. And his overall record at Augusta isn't spectacular, but he has the win in 2017 that everyone points to. So it is tough. There's not a whole lot of data out there. Liv there is public data. They kind of hide it. They don't really do a great job of making their data super accessible or easy to find, like the PGA Tour does. But there is stuff out there, and you can see guys like Cameron Smith, who have really struggled the last 2 years with his irons and off the tee. Short game's still really good. He always finds a way to compete at the Masters and find himself on the first couple of pages. Dustin Johnson, same thing, has not been playing really good this season on Liv. Brooks Koepka, same thing with him. So it's kind of tough to figure out the motivation for these guys throughout the Liv season, and then kind of figure out, okay, well, when they get to a major, they're going to turn it on. And that's like the MO for Brooks Koepka, is he doesn't really care about the regular tournaments. When the major comes, he's always really great. It's super tough. The 2 guys I'm looking at in terms of this week is Jon Rahm and Sergio Garcia. I am fully buying Sergio Garcia's resurgence. He's playing the best golf he's played since that year he won the Masters. He's been one of the best players on Liv this year. I think that his price has come down a lot this week. I would still buy it in the top 10 market. I'm not sure if he'll win this golf tournament, if he's really going to be in contention to win, but from a DFS perspective, I'm in on Sergio, and I do think Jon Rahm is one of the 6 or 7 golfers that can win this tournament.
Yeah, 80-1 Sergio, 80-1 Patrick Reed, 80-1 Dustin Johnson. They were 90-1 2 days ago, so people are playing them at the moment. Those numbers are coming down if you want bombs, long shot players for the Masters. Before we get to the field more, I want to ask you about the course, because as Dave mentioned, we do know this course so well, these holes. We know what Augusta looks like. We know Amen Corner, but Hurricane Helene has reshaped not just Augusta, but it has reshaped not just Augusta National, but Augusta, the city. It has completely changed the overall tree cover, the amount of trees that are up. Could wind be a bigger factor in this tournament if it kicks up because of what's happened in the wake of Hurricane Helene?
I don't think the wind is going to play a crazy factor this week. Last year, we saw that rain was a big factor, and that was one of the reasons why Bryson was actually doing so well the first 2 days, is because Bryson loves to hit those low shots that kind of struggle to sit. It's why he does so well at the U.S. Open. He can bounce it short and just kind of roll it up. At the Masters, it's not always that easy to do, so the course was really soft for Bryson, so we could hit those low shots. They would stop easier. I don't believe the wind is going to be that big of an effect. There is, well, like you said, some less tree coverage throughout the course. A lot of stuff that I've read and some things that I've been seeing from people who are there and kind of have been walking the course in the first 24 hours. From a betting perspective, probably nothing that you can change your handicapping, just because of kind of how the similarities in the course and the shots that are demanded from most of these holes. If you're playing from the trees, you're going to struggle either way. It's not going to make it more or less challenging. You still want to hit those wide fairways, and that's, goal number one for anybody hitting off the tee. So from a pure handicapping perspective, not a whole lot changes, especially just because of the overall difficulty of the course, I would say.
I'm old enough to remember putting up even money on Tiger Woods to win the Masters. I mean, and it was no joke. Like, we were hoping that Tiger would win when we put up even money, because everybody bet him. And we're like, when it happened, we didn't lose that much. Scheffler is getting close to that territory, and everybody's looking to beat the favorite. Like, when you go to the horse track, you don't want to take the even money guy, horse. You want to beat the favorite. Who is going to beat the favorite? If it ain't Scheffler, is it Rory? Is it Xander? Is it Oberg? Or is it like DeChambeau? I know in the thread you wrote, you made a case for each guy. Which guy do you want to go to the mattresses with?
I think everyone's going to say Rory, and I don't blame them. I personally have never been a big Rory guy, but this is by far his best chance. Like, if Rory can't win this year, I'm not saying he can never win again, but I don't see a situation where everything will ever point all to Rory again leading up to a Masters, which is the big one he wants. He wants the career Grand Slam. If he doesn't win this year, it's never going to set up as good for him. That doesn't mean he can't win, but all signs are pointing to Rory. He has been the best player in the world this season. He's won the two biggest tournaments heading into the Masters. He won at Pebble, of course, that people said Rory can't bomb it around Pebble. That's exactly what he did. And then same thing at TPC Sawgrass. Of course, he's always played well at, and he lapped the field other than JJ Spawn, who we beat in the playoff, but really great performance at TPC Sawgrass. This is the best form Rory has been in. Like, for once, he is a absolute killer all throughout the back. Like, every single time Rory has kind of costed himself a major, there's been something in his game that has hindered his ability to get the job done. It's normally been the irons, or he's missed a lot of putts, but this season he has been the ultimate closer in some pretty marquee events. At this point, though, there's no more handicapping left. It's all between Rory's ears. And if he's able to overcome that, there's no reason why he can't win this tournament. If you go with that being said, will he be getting a single cent of my money? No, no. but I did the same thing with Xander, and it burned me last year. But again, no one has ever gone broke not betting Rory at a major, not betting Rory at Augusta. Like, for years, Xander was priced under 20-1. He was never able to close. Yep. Finally did it last year. So there were some people who wanted to get that breakthrough and wanted to profit off of it. Most of the people who have been losing so much on Xander and all those majors. And I was just sitting out, and, I actually cashed something on Xander at the Open because I was like, I think he broke the door down. And he did exactly that. I didn't have him outright, but had him for some other stuff. Same thing with Rory. I don't want to be the one that is going to bet Rory under 10-1 in a major. I haven't seen it yet. Will he have that kick the doors down moment? He very like, there's nothing that will stop him. But going down the line, talked about John Rahm. Colin Morikawa is my flag pin guy. This is my guy this week. I've been trying to tell everyone who will listen for months that I think Colin Morikawa is going to win the Masters. I think that he is so due for a win. And saying that, it isn't exactly like fit perfectly for like,
it doesn't feel good.
People don't just
good,
break.
Jake.
Yeah, people don't just like break out at Augusta, but this guy has been so close for
he can't
so
close. Jake, he can't close.
This is my, I guess, argument for that is why he can't close. So he's won 2 majors in the past, and now we're at that point
but he hasn't done it out of the pandemic though. He
did
his
it career where
it's
like we're gonna put his major wins under a microscope and be like, oh, there was no fans.
Yes.
Sure, that's very fair, but he was in complete control at Arnold Palmer a couple weeks ago. Russell Henley had one of the luckiest chip-ins that I've seen in quite some time. Completely stole that win a few weeks ago. But there are intangibles that you can use for your handicapping for not wanting to bet Colin Morikawa. Completely fair. Again, nobody's gone broke not betting a guy who you think can't close.
Right.
I, on the other hand, am looking at a price at 18-1 when 2 golfers who at 4-1, 6.5-1, who Colin Morikawa by the data has been just as good at over the last 365 days. So I look at that. I look at the price. I look at this course, the emphasis on long iron play. Colin Morikawa hits his long irons better than most golfers hit their mid irons. It is a perfect shape for his fade off the tee. He keeps the ball in play. I'm not going to deal with him in the pine straw. He's not going in the water. I said that he'll be 4 over through 2. So, but just where he's grouped in the market right now, 18-1 with Xander Schauffele, same price. A guy that has been injured this season, has not really found that major form. DeChambeau at 20-1. I don't think Augusta is a great course for him. There are only a select few amount of guys that can win this golf tournament. And Colin Morikawa is one of 2 guys that I feel very strongly about, not only with the course fit, but their current price. It's him and John Rahm. That's how I feel about the top 7 guys in the market.
Through round 1, 2, and 3, love them. Round 4, want no part of them. That would be a dead fade on round 4. You can't handicap between the ears. That's the problem with Colin Morikawa. It's everything you're saying is complete dead on. The numbers speak loudly about his talent. Not saying the guy's not incredible. He just can't close. I can't trust him on Sunday. All right, so there's 8 lefties in this field here. We know about Phil, and we know about Mike Weir. We know about guys who have worn the green jacket as lefties, but any of the lefties could shock the world. I mean, talking about the live guys, I mean, we're going to roll back the clock here with any of them, potentially come out of nowhere and win this just because the course is so good for left-handed golfers.
Yeah, that's a great segue to my guy, Bobby Mack. Lefties are normally set up for success at Augusta just because of the way that the second shots are asked. There's no like data that really points to that, but golfers say that lefties just have an advantage in terms of getting onto these tough greens. I don't understand his price, quite frankly. I think that him at what he's now 60-1, I last saw 60-1 around there on
55 at FanDuel.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would bet Bobby Mack around that realm, probably down to 50-1. He hasn't been at the Masters in a few years, which is weird. He's missed the last 2 years, but his finishes in 2021 and 2022 were very, very strong. He specifically on the green, when you look at guys who are making their debuts, normally where they struggle is they can't really figure out the speed and the undulations of the greens. He gained 6 shots putting those two Masters tournaments where he was making his debut. He is a much more polished golfer right now. He keeps the ball in play. He bombs it. I'm all in on Bobby Mack. I'm pretty sure there's a lefty market. I don't know if it's up right now. I think DraftKings does the lefty market.
Yeah, I'll have to check. I was going to ask you that. What markets do you like betting? Like, what are your? I mean, everybody likes outrights, and then top 20s, top 10s, top 5, and golf betting has evolved tremendously in the past 6 years since PASPA passed. Do you have a go-to or something that you always check? Regardless of major, course, whatever that you look at that maybe people are like, wow, I didn't even really know that market existed, or something lucrative that you like. One of our wrenches asked that question.
Yeah, I am mostly a top 20 guy.
Okay.
I normally I'll bet outrights for guys I really like. Like I'm not the type of golf handicapper that's going to have 9 outrights in a week, which a lot of people do, and they hit. If you are good at that, then that is something that you need to be doing, because if you have a dedicated, okay, I'm going to bet a unit and a half to win like X amount of units on
80 to 1, 60 to 1.
7, 8 or 9 golfers, that is certainly a viable strategy to win at handicapping golf. I have found success a lot in the top 20 market this year. I've hit some pretty good ones in the smaller tournaments. The problem with Augusta is it's such a small field, and the odds are not exactly great. I like to do the including ties market. I hate dead heat. I am fine. Because it's hard to really predict the volatility of a golf tournament. Sometimes you might get lucky if you don't do including ties, and you might not get dead heated, and there might be no ties at all. There might be a tournament like the Valero last week, where I believe there was like 34 or 35 guys that were in the top 20. If you had a top 20, you were not getting paid anything.
You lost. You lost.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah. So there obviously the odds are a little bit lower for the including ties market, but sometimes if you have enough money in enough of these books, you can shop around and really find some numbers that aren't that shrunken.
Right. So fun story, and you may have no idea who this person is, but Brian Campbell is dating a friend of mine who was an intern at a radio station that I worked at. So his story and his win in Mexico to make this field is borderline ridiculous. Like, he shouldn't be in this field. He's 1,000. He's 1,000 to 1 to win this thing. He's not winning this thing, but he's only plus 122 to make the cut. Could Brian Campbell make the cut?
Brian Campbell is not a player that I have kept a lot of tabs on over the last few weeks, because
but he's 28 to 1 to be the top debut, to be the debutante, to be the first starter. He's 28 to 1.
Brian, I don't know how much you remember of the Mexico Open.
Yes, a lot,
very fun week of golf. Very underrated week of golf. I thought it was gonna be a complete stinker. So I had an Aaron Rai outright that week. So I was watching pretty close. He made the eagle on 3 and let me completely choked it away on the back 9 with his just tumultuous short game. It was horrendous. And what Brian Campbell did with the short game that week was pretty unbelievable. He was laying up on every par 5. The ball speeds were. I like to joke around, like every time Brian Campbell had a ball speed on the broadcast, that was like less than 170. I was like, dude, my ball speed is the same. I'm like, what are we doing here? But no, his short game was great that week. I can say I have not kept tabs on him, so I don't know recently. But plus 122 to make the cut. I think the plus EV for the Masters is, and this is slightly less true since they changed the cut rules in 2020, where less guys make the cut now. They took away the rule where if you're 10 shots off the lead, so there's less guys that make the cut now. But I still think make the cut parlays are still plus EV. Pat Mayo said this on his show, which is super true, where you can cross off 15 guys, which is a good chunk of the field.
No question.
That are just not going to make the cut. So, and the books, the odds for most of these books that let you parlay them, don't really
reflect that
have the true odds. So I think make the cut parlays with some guys who you are really confident in. It is certainly some plus EV there.
Last one for me, sir. What's the last joke you got about your last name that made you laugh? That got you? I mean, Jake Circus is you can't even make it up. And I know you heard something. I mean, it may have been as far back when you were in kindergarten, when the kid said something to you then. But what's what? Just give me something, because the chat's going to talk about it. We're going to post the clips later at Jake Circus. And you don't spell it like that, but spelled with an S. But give me something. Something.
Come on. So since I started doing content for BR, and I've been on the socials there, people, like, when I give out bets, people don't like to lose. So people get angry, and I do these parlays, and they don't like it.
Yeah.
And there was one, like, I had heard this one before, the Circus Freak Show, but one of those guys in the comments is like, he commented, he's like, this Circus Freak Show needs to move out of his mom's house and get better at betting on golf.
Okay.
We've all heard it. Yeah, we've all heard it. If folks want to read your stuff, how can they get it, Jake? Where do they find you?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Jake Circus. That's where most of the stuff goes. I got an NFL pod, season 5 of the Jake Circus podcast on Spotify. That'll start back up in August. And yeah, follow BR Betting. That's you'll see my face up there a lot this week for some Masters stuff.
Good stuff, Jake. Thank you for the time. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Jake.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Jake Circus from BR Betting joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Good to get him on the program talking about the Masters. And yeah, look, if my guy Brian Campbell is even like remotely in contention, it would be awesome. I don't think he's going to be, but like it would be wild to see him just, even remotely have a shot at making the cut. Even would be great. He's plus money.
What do you guys put Jake's handle in the chat if you can, at Jake JAKESIRKUS is how you spell it.
He was not Jake from State Farm. He was
not the Jake from
Jake from BR, not Jake
yes.
from State Farm. No. Yeah.
Although Circus, man, that's I was thinking of things and saying, wow, like if we were playing hockey and I found out the other guy's name was Circus. Whoo, man.
Circus
stuff
coming
to
to town.
say between face-offs. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You have all sorts of fun things to say to him. All right. What happened last night? We've not talked at all. We're 45 minutes into the show. We haven't talked about the Gators. Florida wins their 3rd men's college basketball title. They storm back from down 12 to beat Houston 65-63 in one of the best championship games of recent memory. Just a huge win for Florida. Just on a 30,000 foot level. Look, Dave, what was your takeaway from last night?
I enjoyed the hell out of the game.
Yeah,
I really did. I tweeted it at the time when the in-game number was 8.5 Houston. And I was like, the number would tell you that this is a wrap, and it was far from a wrap.
Right.
And that was the time I bet Florida. I took 7.5 and said if they're going to come back, it's now. And wow, Joe the Fat Panda, glad to have cashed out my Houston -7.5 at the half.
Fair.
All right, not bad. But that was a hell of a tale. Like, it was a tale of two halves, right?
The game went exactly how I thought it could go. Like I bet Houston in the first half. I thought Houston would get off and really pressure Florida and make Florida uncomfortable. And then just the way the Gators had played all year played out. They are a second half team. They take, for whatever reason, they just don't play well in the first half, and they play much better in the second half, and they take advantage. They get you in foul trouble. They get you tired, and then their guards go to work. I mean, Richard, we talked about it yesterday. I said someone in the first half has to step up because I was right. Kelvin Sampson was not going to allow Walter Clayton Jr. to go up and score 30 points. So somebody else had to be there. And Richard in the first half.
Score in the first half.
Yeah. Richard was the guy. I mean, Richard in the first half, the points he scored, 14 points in the first half he scored. That was vital for Florida just to keep within contact of Houston because they were getting boat raced in the first half.
They didn't call anything in the first half. There were 4 fouls called in the first half, period.
Yep.
Apparently the number was 25 in the second half. Both teams in the bonus 5 minutes in.
Yeah, quick.
So very different. And you're hearing basketball people talking about it. Geez, it's not fair that you established the way the game is going to be called like a UFC fight in the beginning. And then the second half, you call every touch foul and things like that, but like it still was a great game. I enjoyed the hell out of the game. Like I felt like the entire Final Four, all 3 games were awesome. Everybody was worried about the 1 seeds showing up and, where there was no Cinderella. I loved it.
How about that stat?
The team leading at the final TV timeout lost all 3 Final Four games. That's from David Teal on the socials, on the Twitter, by David Teal. Wow. That's that's for the in-game guys. That's a little dangerous.
It's a wild stat. Down when we hit the last media timeout with under 4 minutes to play, the team that had the lead lost. That is exciting. I mean, that's, the games are great. You can't talk about the games not being great. The games are great. I mean, there's no debating it. If you're a college basketball fan, I don't know how you didn't love the Duke-Houston game. Florida-Auburn was good, not great. It was good. Duke-Houston was great, borderline epic. And then last night was incredible. I mean, it's a championship game. The only problem was you could have built, a firehouse out of the number of bricks that were being thrown up there in the first half. Like, it was embarrassing how bad that shooting was for both teams. Like, not just misses. We're talking like breaking the backboard type misses.
There's a bunch of air balls and just bad shots.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it. Now, I'm okay with an under game. The game was another dead under the first half, under. Houston leading that big at halftime. Wasn't over by any means.
Nikki,
is this right? Nikki Ceramello yesterday
wasn't a single freshman from Florida who played in that game. Not a single freshman played. So that's why
he didn't appear in a title game since 1989.
See, my issue with the refereeing, and it's not even an issue. I know people are angry about the inconsistency, and that's a very big point of mine too, as I want the referees to be consistent. But in college basketball, that has been sort of the MO of referees in most big games, Final Four games or championship games, where they're going to let you play in the beginning. But then once we get close to halftime and once we get after halftime, they're not going to let you go and play football. Like, you can establish it yourself. You can establish your physicality. You can establish your defensive intensity in the first half. But come the second half, they're not going to allow you to just manhandle people when the game's on the line. I mean, more people tune in after halftime because they know that a national champion is going to be crowned. And if a big comeback is coming, like it was happening, people are texting their buddies and their friends going like, guys, Florida's coming back. Florida's tied the game. Like, everyone runs to their TV sets. Yep. Well, if they turn it on and they're watching a mugging going on and you're just seeing elbows being thrown and guys pulling each other down, that's not college basketball. So the referees having a tighter whistle in the second half, that's kind of par for the course. I don't like it either, but that's kind of the way the game has gone for a long time when it comes to big games. So I don't love it, but that's not why Houston lost.
No, they called a couple tees, on an elbow and a pull down and something else. I love the officials, like this, the signs. I tease Wetzel because he refs basketball.
Right.
Back out, like, do you learn? I mean, like, this is holding in the NFL. This is slashing in the NHL. Sometimes they just do this, or they do like the refs in basketball. I swear they make stuff up.
Sure.
He was like, yeah, right. What is that?
Yeah.
Looks like they're directing traffic sometimes.
Yeah.
It's 2 shots.
Right. Makes no sense.
But again, I felt bad that Houston couldn't get a shot off. I mean, shoot and miss. You don't get a shot off at the end.
2 massive mistakes by Emmanuel Sharp.
Man.
I mean, the turnover on the possession before that was horrible. Dribbling the ball off his knee, goes to the Gators. Gators get the lead. And then he tries. I mean, Calvin Sampson said it afterwards that the play was for him to ball fake and then to go inside to get to the lane and shoot. He wanted to be the hero. He wanted a 3. He wanted to win, not tie. And Kelvin was like, you can't not get a shot off, because The Gators were going to give you the 2. They were not giving you the 3. So when Clayton Jr. did the flyby and he just jumped to the side, the whole idea was to block a 3-point shot. If he shot fakes, if Sharp puts the ball on the deck and goes, he has a clean path right to the lane for a 2-pointer to tie the game. He wanted to win the game and instead got locked in on a 3-point shot instead of taking what the defense was giving him, which happens like with quarterbacks all the time where like you get locked in on one receiver and you don't see the guy wide open because you want to throw it to the guy who is your best receiver and the tight end's wide open in the flat. Same thing happened with Sharp. He wanted the hero shot rather than just taking the 2.
That was brutal. That was brutal.
And now for Houston, I mean, that's 7 Final Fours and 3 national championship games. They are now the most snake-bitten program in college basketball. They just can't win a national championship.
Never really felt comfortable with them in the lead either. Like, sitting there watching it. Like, I just said, oh, they got to put this team away. They got to put this thing. And then every time you thought we're up 6, make it 8, make it 10. Bam. No. Back, forth. By the way, welcome Scott Lewis to the live chat. What up, fellas? Just watched the Kenny Mayne, Neil Everett show.
Hey.
Well, that's a classic.
It is.
Hopefully you enjoyed that one. We had those two on for 52 minutes together with the two of us. The 4 bucks. It was a home run. So thanks for being here, Scott. Houston's going to be okay. I heard they got like 2 recruits. They're coming of the top 5 in the country. So they'll be back. Is Florida back?
Yeah. I mean, they have a coach who's 39 years old.
Did some reading about that coach. There's a lot of questions about that coach, things that went on. I don't know what to make of all that.
Golden's fine. He's playing the rules by everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Todd Golden's a very good coach. He plays the rules, plays the game well. People don't like it, fine. There's some questionable things he does off the court, fine. Okay. I mean,
is Florida a basketball school now?
Well, they've won 3 national championships. I mean, win 3 national championships. I mean, it's the first one since Billy. So that was always the question. Like, they were great with Billy Donovan. Could they do it with somebody else? And now they have. In the 3rd year of Todd Golden, they've won the national championship, and they're doing it with football money. I mean, they've got a war chest. Like, so many of these schools have war chests to go to war and get whoever they want.
Oh, it's all changing very, very quickly as far as that goes, because those schools get a foothold and then get the basketball going.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Duke announced that they have an unlimited war chest. There is no amount of money that they will not spend in the NAL market. Like,
for basketball or football too?
Arkansas, but I mean, basketball. Basketball. Yeah. Arkansas was the team that said that with college basketball, and they did it with football a little bit too. But Arkansas and with Cal spent a ton of money. They're going to spend a ton of money again. So they're going to be the top spenders. Kentucky has already said that they're doubling down, and they're going to have even more money in the NL market. The Creighton Blue Jays just paid $1.7 million for a player. Like, if you had told me 10 years ago that the Creighton Blue Jays would pay $1.7 million for a basketball player, I would have told you that you were high as a kite.
Yeah. Right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, explain that to me for a second. Like, wait, what? So, I mean, it's a totally different world.
What Brock said, that only school with 3 basketball and 3 football titles? Florida is now? Wow.
Hold on. Let me check that.
That makes sense. Not that we have to fact check you, Whitrock, but we're doing a show. We can't put out false information because the people are waiting to get us every day.
Let me
saying
see.
This, saying that.
That sounds. It sounds right.
Good.
I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like that's
How
wrong.
about
Just because. Okay, so hold on. So let's see. So teams that have won multiple championships. UCLA's got 11. Kentucky's got 8. UConn has 6. Carolina has 6. Duke has 5. Indiana has 5, and Kansas has 4. So the answer would be yes. Nobody has, because no one on that list. UCLA
has 3 football championships. Right.
I don't think they have any. I mean, I don't think they have any.
Right.
Unless UCLA has them back in the day in like the 40s.
No.
So, like, I don't think anybody's got 3. So, from a national championship standpoint.
Pretty solid work right there.
Yep. That's going to be very impressive to see how they go forward with Florida now in the SEC. But here's the thing, what's interesting, because I was dead wrong when I said this. I said the winner of the SEC tournament would not win the NCAA tournament.
Right. They did it.
They did it. They won them both. Florida was the best team all year. The best team won the best conference tournament. And then they went and won the NCAA tournament. So it was a year in which it all played out. 15-1 favorites ended a straight up run in the tournament. 15-1. Only Houston's win over Duke.
All the book guys are like, welcome to Masters Week.
Right.
Enough of that.
They want to turn the page fast.
Enough of that.
Get the hell away from all of that. All
Right.
of the money line parlays and everything else that came through. There was some money that showed up on Houston last night. So, I mean,
I think that worked out okay. The game stayed under, so that was fine.
Game stayed under.
The in-game definitely was not good.
No, there's some big numbers on Florida. Yep.
Yeah, it's just when that happens, that was the script we talked about. Like, the stuff being rigged and this and that. They were betting Florida to come back. Florida came back, so they got a better price on Florida in that game. Think about it, and you could have gotten on Florida to win the tournament.
Most of the tournament. Absolutely. The highest I saw was 8-1. So I saw Florida was 8-1 at one point to come back. So plus 800.
Butchie said it didn't work out okay for him. That's a shame.
Yeah, it didn't work out great for the book guys, unfortunately, on that. All right, NBA playoff picture. We were going to talk about this before the Michael Malone thing, but the Michael Malone thing kind of threw this whole into a wrench with the Nuggets. If you're just joining us, the Nuggets have fired Michael Malone, and they're not renewing their GM either. So there's a turmoil going on in Denver today after this. But the East is set. We may have some movement here, but those are your 10 teams that will play in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
Doesn't do nearly as much for me as the other side.
So the West is a whole different story.
Yeah.
The West is an absolute, I mean, it's a bleep show in the West. Like it makes, I mean, from
you've already said the one word, you might as well say the other one.
I'm trying to let Will only have one. So, just trying to only have him edit one curse word out. But from a 3 seed to the 11 seed, it's completely wide open right now. I mean, it's fun when you look at the Suns could still make the playoffs. I mean, they're not out of it.
Hold up. Nobody wants to see that. I don't even think Suns fans want to see that.
I mean, they're right there. They're 2 games back of the Mavericks.
Yeah, but let's end this. Let's get to the summer. If you're the Suns, that's just drudgery. Look at the losses. So the Nuggets have 32 losses. Clippers have 32 losses. The Warriors have 32 losses. At the moment, that's the 4, 5, 6 seed. The T-Wolves have 32 losses. The Grizzlies have 32 losses. That's a 7-8. That's your play-in game. Yeah, that's going to be.
So these 5
what
teams.
What a game.
These 5 teams, we don't know their order yet as we come down the stretch over the last 3 and 4 games of the regular season.
Right.
The Kings and the Mavs are trying to see which one has home court for their game.
Right.
And then the Suns are only 2 games out sitting there.
Suns are done. You're making a very good case. And if anybody in Phoenix wants to sponsor the show, we'll come down. We'll do a show live. We'll come to the arena. We'll do, meet and greets, whatever you want. I love Phoenix. We'll come down for sure, but they're not making the playoffs. It's just
the Suns don't want the Suns.
Jimmy Jack, you're right. The Suns don't want the Suns to make the playoffs. They don't. They ain't got no shot. So let that one go. I think it's the top 8 in the West are set. I mean, I think both Memphis and Minnesota 7-8 there or whatever. I think they're both. One's going to win the game, and then the other one's going to beat that 9-10.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting. Okay,
they're both in my opinion. When I look at that, all we're trying to do, like in the book right now, is try to get these prices kind of set for sooner rather than later before the matchups are set. They don't want no surprises. So an 0-3 stretch here by the Nuggets, them firing the coach before they got to play 3 games, and them having to play in the play-in game, is going to mess up the future book. And you don't want that. But
do you think they want to lose? Like, is this Denver saying we don't want to contend? Because the owner, the statement as we read, that's not what the Cronkies are saying. They're saying they did this move to win now because they want to win a championship right now, and they are a better team without Michael Malone than with Michael Malone.
Again, you've heard things said that aren't always what's actually behind the curtain. I've been listening to that. I mean, in Vegas especially, we live here. A lot of things look very different when you open the curtain.
Right, get up close and shine some disinfectant, some sunlight onto all of it.
So we'll see.
There's more to the story. I agree. There's more. We're not done with the Denver Nuggets story yet. There's more to this. This is going to unfold in a different way, and I can't wait to see the reaction from the fans too. Because as Joe the Fat Panda said, he's got a coworker that had a pretty loud reaction to it.
Got a coworker that dropped an office-wide F-bomb when the Denver news dropped. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that has to be a bummer, like for
Nuggets fans.
Yeah, you just won the championship.
And it's not that. It's that this is everyone knows that you fire your coach 3 games before the playoffs. That doesn't mean you go win in the playoffs.
Right.
This is not a move for now. This is a move for next year in the future. It's a punting on this season. It's an ejection on the year by firing your coach right now, unless there is more to the story, which we have to wait and see. Which there could be, but
I have to go get more OKC gear.
Let's see. Speaking of that, Lakers are kind of big dogs here tonight, Dave.
Yeah, nobody's playing, right?
No one's playing, but 15.5.
I like to play this game. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 NBA games. Yes. That's the last week. So I'm not besmirching the league. But how many games have double-digit spreads?
A lot.
Of the 10.
And the Warriors are at 9.5.
That counts. I rounded up.
All right.
9.5 counts. So we'll go Memphis, Charlotte, 15. That's 1. Washington, Indiana. Indiana's an 18.5-point favorite in that game. 19 in places. That's 2. Cleveland's laying 2 touchdowns at home against the Bulls. That's 3.
Mm-hmm.
OKC, just mentioned, 15.5 is 4 at home against the Lakers. Golden State's laying 10 at Phoenix, 10 in 3 places, so we'll round that one up. And the Clippers are laying 13 at home against San Antonio. Hello. Betting the NBA is brutal right now.
Lakers play Thunder tonight, Mavs tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing tomorrow.
Correct.
Everyone's playing tomorrow. Celtics are at the Knicks. Here's one of your numbers. Knicks are home favorites. It's 2.
Celtics are like,
they're done.
Right. We're not playing.
See you in the playoffs.
Yeah. This will be the game that the Knicks win so they don't get swept by teams over 500 or whatever that record was. I think they're 0-18 or something against teams, the top 2 teams in the East and the top 4 teams in the West, a winning record team or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Knicks will win tonight. That's what that number tells me.
And then you want to lay 9.5 with the Warriors? The Suns are this dead? Comfortable
Phoenix
laying,
dead, bro.
Comfortable laying that number?
I mean, that's a very uncomfortable lay pre-game. Very, very uncomfortable
big
lay.
Number.
Wow, Knicks still lose Russ Randall? That sounds personal. Do I want to lay this number?
No, you don't want to lay this number.
Man, oh man, I don't know. That's a stop sign for me.
Yeah, it's a big number.
That's where, I mean, like if this was 6, you'd lay it, right?
Yes.
If it's under 7, you'd lay it.
Yeah, 6 definitely. 9.5? Right. No, I'm not. This is like a whoa. What are we doing? Yeah, put it in a money line parlay. Sure, that's fine.
6-leg money line parlay. Thank you, Whitrock. He just did the work for us.
Yeah, you can do that. Sure.
Those big favorites. It's still minus 116.
You're still laying juice? Oh my gosh. You're still laying juice with that. That's unbelievable.
Brutal.
That's brutal. Still laying juice with a 6-leg money line parlay. Wow.
Yeah.
To hockey, the NHL playoffs are nearly set. Only Calgary has a shot to make the playoffs, who are not currently in at now. So here are your standings, your Eastern Conference standings in the NHL. 98 points for the Leafs, 96 points for the Lightning, and 92 points for Florida. If you look at Ottawa, who has 90, that's 4 teams out of the Atlantic that are currently in the playoffs, which is pretty good. Actually, 5 teams with Montreal, so it's pretty good. Only the Bruins bringing up the rear in that division. The Capitals and the Hurricanes and the Devils, 107, 96, 89, and the Red Wings at 79 and the Rangers at 79. But this is the playoffs, right? I mean, we aren't going to see any movement here. You don't think either one, Montreal, not going to collapse, right?
I don't think so. That would be unbelievable if the Red Wings won the last 6 games here.
Well, they have 5 games left, and Montreal's got 6.
No, reverse it.
Oh, sorry, flip it around. Sorry.
Yeah.
They've got 6 and 5. Sorry, 5 games Montreal, 6 for Detroit.
At this point, 6 points back, they have to almost win every game.
Correct,
and have
yeah.
Montreal lose
The majority.
almost every game.
Yeah, and they got to, and you got to hope they lose in regulation too. They can't lose in extra to get a point out of it. So need them to stay right where they are with 85 points and try to pass them there. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Those are wars. I mean, you're going to get Tampa and Florida in the first round.
Yep.
I mean, that's a shame for those 2 teams.
Well, Capitals Hurricanes is no picnicky. I mean,
no,
Hurricanes Devils. Sorry,
Hurricanes Devils is an absolute war.
No picnic.
The Maple Leafs, if they have
Montreal
second seat, no, they get the Senators, and the Capitals would be the number 1 seed. They would get the Canadians.
Right. Okay. Right.
Not
a problem.
This is going to be tremendous.
Your Western Conference is not as clean. Calgary could still catch Minnesota. Calgary is not completely dead. And they have a game in hand against Minnesota as well. So they're still alive. The Blues have 93 wins, 93 points rather, same as the Oilers, who have 93.
Yep.
Dallas against Colorado in the first round, and the Kings against the Oilers in the first round.
I feel like the Kings and Oilers is an annuity that we see every year in Stanley Cup playoffs.
But stars in the Avs. I mean, I
think the Kings can win. Whereas in the last couple of years, I didn't think the Kings were going to beat the Oilers. They can win. Would I rather play the Jets or the Kings?
Yeah. Because it depends upon where you are, a wild card team, or are you in the playoffs?
Yeah.
For the Oilers and the Blues. So they're tied at 93. One may play the Jets, one may play the Kings. Who would you rather face in the playoffs? That's tough.
I mean, the Kings are almost unbeatable at home. I don't know. I'm looking at the chat. I see Train is in there saying Florida would rather finish in a wild card 1 position and play Toronto instead of Tampa. No question. JPC DeForce said Tampa, Toronto, Florida will be a rock fight for 2 weeks. Absolutely. Man, the Division 2 versus 3 series is great. Do you like this format?
Do I like what?
Do you like this format of the NHL playoffs? Like, should they reseed 1 through 8? That's the argument right now in the hockey circles. There's people that love it. Like, this is the way I grew up. You had to get out of the Patrick division back east. You had to beat either the Flyers or the Capitals back in the day, and then get to the Rangers or the Islanders, and you had to get out of the division. You knew who you were playing in the first 2 rounds, and then we got to see your division, the Adams division. You guys in Boston had to either beat the Canadians, or the Sabres, or, I mean, even back in the day, it was Hartford. Like,
Yep.
They were absolute wars, and you knew what was coming. You played them all them games.
They wanted to avoid that, though. I mean, the reason why they changed it was because they didn't like the fact that the Bruins played the Sabres and the Canadians every year. Like, that was the road that your road to getting to the Cup finals was the same, and they wanted to mix it up. So this was the wild card introduction, won more teams into the playoffs.
That's fine. Like, I like this. I like this. I don't want 1 through 8.
I like this too. No, I'm with you. I like this too. I just think the 2-3 teams tend to get screwed a bit.
Without a doubt, they do. That's why you got to win that division.
Yeah, they play. I mean, you're going to wind up having an absolute war. You may have a harder first round game than a second round game.
Yeah.
So
Win the division. That makes
tough.
that makes that division. Yeah, JPC the fourth. The Norris remembers. The
Norris
Norris was, man, they used to destroy each other. Red Wings, Blues, Blackhawks were so good. And Toronto was back in that division in the Norris. The Smythe was always like out west. They just skated and their games were overs, and it wasn't as much as the other three. I don't know. I can't wait. This is going to be great. Last 2 weeks, awesome.
Interesting games tonight. Not really from a playoff standing, it's just from a game standing. So Dallas is now the odds-on favorite at most books to win it all. Now, that was my pick start of the year. Bet they're over on their wins or their points. That's going to come in over 103. But tonight at home, laying $2 to Vancouver this is heavy, is it not?
I mean, what should the price be? Vancouver's done. You can't bet Vancouver.
No.
I don't know. I'd make it 220. Try to take a bet on the Canucks.
Okay.
I think it's fair. $2 is fair. I don't know. I watched a lot of. And Vancouver played good the other night, Sunday night. I went on with Moose and Jeff Schwartz on their show and told them the Knights were going to beat the Canucks. Watched a lot of the game. The Canucks were good until they got down.
Yeah.
When they got down a couple goals, it wasn't there. They're not going to Dallas or winning tonight.
Maple Leafs at the Panthers.
Hello.
Minus 160?
Hello. This one seemed a little bit high.
Florida's 160.
This one seemed a little bit high.
It's like, okay.
I haven't watched Florida since Marchand.
Not good. Joe Ranieri wants to give him back.
Why?
Because Marchand hasn't played well for Florida.
Really?
Yeah, he hasn't played well.
Wow.
Florida fans aren't great.
They're not happy with this yet?
No, they're not happy with Marchand yet. They're not happy with the move.
Wow. Is Kachuk back? I don't think he's played yet with them at the same time, huh?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't think he's back yet. Still heavy.
Huh.
And then the game here is Vegas at Colorado. It's not here, but the game that people watch here.
Another really good game.
Good game. Really good game.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that Colorado is minus 130. I'm surprised they're not minus 150.
Okay.
My slight lean there is to Colorado.
Agreed.
Game's going under. Yeah, game's going under.
Vegas has played under games the last 3 games, so they've been playing under games. They haven't been scoring
If you
much.
get the number ones in goal, I think it's going under. Not that these two teams are going to match up in the playoffs like right away.
Right.
This is a playoff game tonight. This is that game that we know we could see the end, and we're playing. This is a playoff game. So
agreed. Good game. Fun game to watch.
Without a doubt.
All right, to baseball. The Braves are 1-8, and now they face the Phillies and Wheeler.
Yep.
Now they're throwing Chris Sale. Game's basically a pick here today. I mean, at what point do we start to worry about the Braves being in too big of a hole that they cannot get out of?
Not yet. But
what if they get swept in this series? What if they get swept?
Then you're going to start hearing it. You're going to start hearing it, right? You can't get swept.
They get
your
swept.
guy going today against Wheeler.
They are FU, spell it out. That's what they are if they lose this series, if they get swept in this series.
FU, spell it out?
Yes. Yes. That's what they are. If they lose 3 games in this series and they get swept by the Phillies, goodbye.
Man.
Goodbye. They are 1-11. It's over. It's over.
It's April 8th. Nothing's
over.
What if they win 6 in a row?
Nope, don't matter. Not with the Mets and not with the Phillies. No, you have a division. The Dodgers are winning the West. Okay. The Giants got off to a really good start playing above their head. The Padres are going to be there all year long. You're a wild card team. If you open up 1-11, you are a wild card team. You're not going to win the division. You're a wild card team. Good luck making the wild card in the National League, given the teams that you have to jump over. You can't be 10 games under 500 in the first 11 games. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Wow. Let's give JC from KC just said the Braves are cooked. Give the boys and girls a baseball poll to vote on right now. As of April 8th, the Braves are facing the Phillies. They got their ace on the mound. Will the Braves make the playoffs? Yes or no? Right now. I want to see what the baseball heads are thinking in April. I don't know. Because you made a very good case for the National League West teams.
Yeah.
Between San Diego, the Diamondbacks, and, oh, by the way, San Francisco, which I think is a little bit of a mirage, but we'll see.
YouTube's having a problem. There we go. YouTube, first time I've seen that.
This is a dose of reality. Only one team from the National League Central, boys and girls, is probably going to make the playoffs. Like was fun while it lasted, but maybe it'll happen in the AL Central, but it's not happening in the NL Central. So the other wild card is coming from the Braves, Phillies, or Mets. Do you know who has the best ERA in baseball as of right now?
Best team ERA?
Best team ERA, and it's by a half a run over the next place team. It's a team in the National League. I'll give you that hint.
It's a team in the National League.
Yep.
Best ERA pitching wise.
Yep.
Well, the Pirates are in the conversation, right?
It's not them.
They're in the conversation though, because of Skeens.
Guys, put it in the chat. Take
I
your
wonder
guess.
who. I don't know. I would say
It's not the Pirates.
is it
Yes.
starting pitching
Look
or
at
is it
this.
everybody?
No, it's the Mets.
The Mets. Okay,
It's the New York Mets. J. Dow Betts got it. Nicky
that's fine.
Ceramello.
It's early.
Chris
Yeah.
Warren.
Okay, it's early.
Pretty good start.
Yeah, it just makes it more difficult for the Braves to come back. It makes it more difficult. You're in a division with two really good teams. That's what I mean. Like right now, if they win and they sweep and they're sitting there at 4-8, we're fine. We're all good.
Right.
They get swept by the Phillies. They're on the road, or so they're at home against the Phillies. You better win these home games. But you're facing one of their best pitchers.
Bargain basement price tonight on Wheeler. I mean, it's even money.
It's a pick. Which
Yeah.
side do you want? It's Aces Day. I mean, it's Aces Day today.
Some good games.
I mean,
I love this day when they all match up.
yeah, great.
It's easy to
schemes.
make the lines. The
Cardinals,
numbers are
Pirates.
tight. This is the Pirates. Just say this out loud. The Pirates are minus 135.
Cardinals are getting smoked. They need a win badly.
Minus 135. It is Skeens Day, Butchie. I love Skeens Day. Get excited to talk about the Pirates every day, but especially on Skeens Day because you feel like they got a shot to win. I feel like they're going to win. Skeens is going to pitch good again. It's nasty there.
Yeah.
Really cold.
Dave, pull the AO West for me. Pull who the Astros played in the AO West versus the National League East. Little difference.
They ate good against the Angels and the A's, but they did have to play Texas and the Mariners,
Okay.
who I think all made the playoffs. I think they all three came that year, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the National League. This is a different story. In the American League, the Astros could do that. Could beat up on some really bad baseball teams. National League's not going to have that for you. National League West alone is a pain in the ass and a problem. And you have the East. So you feast on the Central. Okay. Is that going to be enough to overcome the way that the Mets and the Phillies are going to
play
feast?
less division games than they ever did before. Brian says they will be fine and make the playoffs once they get Strider and Acuna back. They will go on a run.
It's going to be a hell of a run. Again, if they win this series and go if they're sitting there after the series with 3 wins and they're 3-9, okay, I'm fine. Right. I'm just saying if they get swept and they are 1-11, I'll see you next year.
Oh man.
See you next year.
The All-Star game is in Atlanta too.
Yeah, that's a horrific start. That is a bumbling, fumbling start on this for them. Who wins this, Cardinals or the Pirates?
No, I'm going to say Pirates.
Okay. I lean Cardinals because they're desperate. Red Sox beat the living daylights out of them. They
Pirates bats got going yesterday.
Yeah, they need to win. Astros, Mariners, Valdez against Castillo. Hell of a pitching matchup here.
Right?
In Seattle, late night game.
Good number. Perfect number. Total 7. You can make an argument that you could use 6.5 if you really wanted to test your mettle. Seattle found a way to win that game yesterday. I watched some of that. Went late inning heroics. Houston's bullpen is getting used a lot, worn out a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, I like the Mariners. I like the under especially. Team total.
Whole Mariners.
Astros under.
Okay, buckle up for a second, boys, because this story's wild. Like, this story is wild. Our friends at CasinoReport.com, Jeff Edelstein, wrote a big article today.
He did.
It is an awesome read.
Yep.
How your digital life becomes gambling marketing gold. How companies like TransUnion have products that mine your data to sell your information to gaming companies. This is an excerpt from the article talking about taking something directly from the TransUnion website. They have a thing called True Audience. What is True Audience, you might ask?
TRU.
TRU, no E.
Yes.
True Audience, Element 1, features more than 20,000 audience profiles ranging from psychographic, and behavioral attributes to attitudes, preference for gambling, lottery, sports betting, and casino, buying patterns, interests, media usage, and more. This info helps you make informed decisions based on observed in-market behavior and target with granularity and or at scale. As Jeff wrote, I don't even know what psychographic means. So this isn't new that we're getting our data sold. Let me just perfectly say that at the top. Okay. Getting our data sold is something that we have been doing for a long, we all consent to it. When you use Facebook, any platform you use that's free, you are the commodity in which the platform is selling. Okay. That's just, know that from the end of time. YouTube is free. Facebook is free. Instagram's free. Twitter is kind of free. They're selling you. So as long as we're under that, guys, we all understand this. What blew my mind on this is TransUnion's a credit union, a credit reporting union. Their job is to tell companies whether or not you are trustworthy and whether or not they should loan you money, whether or not they should give you a credit card, whether or not they should give you a student loan. That is what we use these credit reporting agencies.
Yep.
To now find out that the credit reporting agencies are packaging the said data that you are giving to them in order for you to be eligible to be getting loans and other things with credit involved. They're taking that and then selling whether or not you are more or less likely to gamble at their sports book or their casino or their lottery. Like, what? Like, what are we doing?
Addison, one of our resident wrenches, says psychographic is the psychology version of demographic, measures interests and lifestyles.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Sonic, one of our other wrenches, says the advertiser profile for Sonic likes pizza, wings, and beer way too much, yells at TV news, scratches butt frequently. I think you should be able to write your own like that. That would throw off the AI. Ross brought up a great point a couple chats up there earlier. Can I sell my information? Just cut out the middleman.
Sure. Be great. But
right?
this is to me, when I read this article, and I highly go to casinoreport.com, it's their front page story. I would recommend reading it.
Yes.
Because what you realize by reading this, it's essentially going, we all have said yes to our data. I've told you this, guys, before. Like, tracking me on my phone, I don't care. Like, track me. I'm not going anywhere. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I just want to know. Tell me you're doing it. Don't hide it behind some fake, like, Trojan horse where I got to go back and it tells you, hey, by the way, this app is tracking you. Like, okay, that's a bunch of BS. Tell me you're doing it and I'll let you do it. But don't tell me you're not doing it and you actually are doing it. That pisses me off. But a credit union, a credit agency, like they're in charge of our most sensitive data, and we give it to them to be eligible for other things in life. And then you take that because we hit the little consent button. You're taking it. And if I am a member, if I've got 5 different sports books, or I've got a line of credit somewhere, or I'm gambling with my account, you're mining my accounts to know what my behavior is. So you're going into my bank account because you have my social security number. You have my income. You have my address. You have my phone number. You know where I live. You know where I'm going. And you're going to package that together and build a profile, which you're then going to turn around and hand over to a sports book, where in some states you got to be 18 to gamble, and you're 18 when you get credit. And so often on college campuses, you guys have gone to college, this, those desks that are giving away free t-shirts for credit cards. How often all of us sign that up, and all of a sudden I got $2,000 to go blow because they know mom and dad will cover it for you so you don't blow your credit. That's predatory, right? That's been something that we've all talked about as being a really bad thing. You're a college kid with no income. Let's give them a $2,000 credit line at 29% interest. So now we're taking that information and we're going to give it to a sports book who then can offer an 18-year-old kid an incentive to go open up an account to go bet and gamble with them. Like, this is getting sinister, right?
It's business. I mean, this is what, there's zero surprise. There's what then happens after all of that. The book gets a profile of you and can profile you within the book based on the information that they already got before you place a bet.
Yes.
That ain't helping nobody. Just for the record, Butchie says, shh, listen, there's ways to do this, and there's ways to do it all.
How about the problem gambler? How about the person that has a bunch of betting, paper or digital trails? Are we siphoning that out? Are we recognizing a problem player and saying, hey, with the KYC, that we're going to say this person's a problem gambler? And if you believe the lawyers and the politicians, well, that's prime A target. That person is who they want. They want to go offer a VIP program to that guy. They want to get that guy playing as much as possible.
Yeah.
Are there any protections in place when it comes to this? When this profile this psychographic is designed, does it say problem gambler? Is there any trends or issues at play to protect the player from himself? Or is he just going to get bombarded by the books to keep playing? This is all messed up. Like, this is, I mean, what are we? This is like, hold on a second. Like, it's one thing when you're selling my data. It's a different story when these people are supposed to be, and I know they're not the good guys, but your credit agencies are the ones that are supposed to keep your data the most sacred. Like, they know everything. They know the HIPAA stuff. They know everything. You were in the hospital, you were paying for hospital bills. Like, they know everything about you.
Yeah.
And they're now selling everything. They're the ones marketing it. Alfonso has an awesome tweet. He was pulling all the different college basketball stuff that these agencies are doing. It's one of the first time I saw it. I was like, what's going on? Credit agencies are doing this?
Yeah.
They're selling our data to sports books?
Everybody's trying to find ways to get customers. No list is sacred. There's nothing, it is business, and they're trying to get more of it. So that's why, a lot of people will use a beard, for those of you that don't know, the actual technological industry term is a beard, is somebody betting for somebody. You know, a lot of people have family members that have accounts that don't bet, but other people may tell them what to bet, things like that. Allegedly, it's, things happen. You're always got to try to throw the book off. I mean, back in the day when you called the guy and you wanted to bet Steelers were playing the Bengals and you knew the guy was going to give you a favorite line where the game was supposed to be 3, and you call up and say, what's the line on the Steelers? And he'd say 4. So you say, all right, give me the Bengals. Throw them off. They got to throw books off. It's crazy. But the amount of information that they know, we're going to ask, questions in the chat. Books will give different lines for different customers. You don't think that's already going on?
Yeah,
probably. I know the technology exists to do it.
That's sick. That
and they know you get on every day and look at the Celtics line and the Red Sox line first, so they're at the top of your menu.
Oh, right.
You can really customize different
That's
things.
fine. I don't
people.
care about that. I understand that. And I'm okay with that. Just trying to personalize it. But I'm talking about if I'm getting a -110 and you're getting a +105 on the Red Sox, but I'm paying juice because I'm a Red Sox fan, you're getting +105 because you're not. That's baloney. That's garbage.
Well,
and I know that's happening and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So like different prices for different people. And like, I was talking to Amanda about all this and she was like, she's like, when she goes on Instagram, like Instagram and Meta has a complete target. She's like, they've got me locked down. They know what to put. She goes, all the ads are completely customized directly to me. And there's stuff that I would buy and there's stuff I have bought. And they know that they have a profile for me. They know what I like. They know what I'll buy and they put it right in front of me. And then I go and buy it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. That's a platform that's free. You can't hide your data from a credit agency. If you do, you can't get a car loan. You can't get a mortgage. You can't get a student loan.
Right.
Like you can't do it. You can't do anything without a credit agency knowing your information. So like this feels like you've put the American public up against a wall and there's no choice now. Now you're forced to make sure everybody has information on you. That sucks. Not a fan.
Oh, you sound like the old man yelling at the cloud.
Fine, maybe I am, but I mean, again, I said this before. I'm becoming more and more in love with cash. I'm becoming more and more in love with the beauty of cash. And so we're not being tracked and I'm not being watched and my stuff's not being sold left and right. It's funny you say that because Amanda was at an event yesterday and she was talking to a woman who had gone to the Nash, which is a casino that is in Nashua, New Hampshire, just opened up. And I came out of there going like, man, that place is the future of gambling. The amount of technologically advancements all the table games have, it's wild. Like they've got credit card machines and they've got all different ways of tracking. And like, it's a very forward thinking casino. It looks like most casinos will look like in 5 years, I think. This woman was completely turned off by it. She was like, it's too technologically advanced. Like there's too much technology for me. I just want to go sit at a table game and play blackjack. Like I don't need all of this. I don't need one dealer for 4 games. I don't need individual kiosks. I don't need all the new age stuff. And I was like, wow, Amanda was like, she's like, that's really disappointing that like somebody already went there and feels like they won't go back. And I was like, that's because they're targeting the under 40 crowd. Like they don't want the over 40 crowd. They want the younger kids to come in and they're all accustomed to playing stuff on their phone.
Nick Tom just said it in the chat. Older I get, the more I understand the old grumpy.
sorry, Will.
The old grumpy blanks who don't trust anything.
Yeah.
It's easy to see. They do get everything from your monthly bills everything you're banking online, everything. It's all there.
Yeah, right. FanDuel, a substantive Equifax. Yes, it feels that way. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're headed that way. They're gonna have access to anything. And like if I'm playing the lottery or I'm playing a casino game, an iCasino game, if I'm going to a sports book or a sports app for sports gambling, whatever it might be, like that's all my private personal information. Nobody has any right to find out that information. You can't, you don't have a right to know that, to sell that data. Like that's like, it's amazing. I get we all like mindlessly click okay and just like scroll past it like it's nothing. But when a story like this comes out from casinoreports.com and I'm like reading it and like my mind is blown going like, all right, they're selling data. And then there's your credit agency selling your information.
Right.
Like, so there's a couple of bills, by the way. California might outlaw this, and there's other states that may outlaw this. I hope we federally outlaw this. Like, credit agencies should not be allowed to sell your data. Like, that should just be a no-go zone when it comes to where we are in this country. Because they have access to literally everything. And yes,
that number was your credit score was was obsessed with it.
It still isn't right. It still is an important part of your life.
It can bury you.
Right. I'm doing it right now. I'm going through a car loan process right now. I'm going through different banks going back and forth. And like, it's ridiculous. And there's different agencies that report different things and they take different things into account. And like, it's gotten so darn complicated with all of it. But yes, I mean, your credit score is really important. And for young kids, it's really important. If you want to, I mean, it can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your life that you're paying more versus paying less if your credit score is over a certain amount. I mean, if you're in the 800s, you're paying literally thousands of dollars in difference than someone who's in the 600s.
Get us out of here, and we'll finish this on the other side.
It's a crazy stuff. Guys, if you're with us live, don't move. We got bonus time coming up if you're on the replay on Sports Grid TV or on SiriusXM. Thank you for being here. We're back tomorrow on a Wednesday, same place, same time. But for the rest of you guys, bonus time.
You know what they're going to do.
What?
I mean, at some point, somebody's going to just let you bet on credit.
100%.
Like it's because it's been going on in the street and the local guys and this and that for a long time. Somebody's going to do it, and then it's going to get chargebacks. And, there's guys in the chat like Butchie that know about the chargebacks. Is a major problem. It's a major, major problem. And letting people bet on credit cards is a terrible idea. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. People are going to get in trouble and different things are going to happen. And they're going to have you can't today. I know.
Joe, that's one thing where you go to the kiosk, like you go to the kiosk. I mean, that's at the Nash, for instance, they have no windows. There's no human being working at the Nash. It is all kiosks.
At the book.
There's no human. There's not even a person to talk to. There's a dedicated cage. You have to go up. So the cage, there is a cage,
right? And
then there's 5 windows at the cage, and then there's a sports book DraftKings window. Right. They will cash other things for you,
right?
But only DraftKings people only sports book tickets can be cashed at that said window. You know, when I went there to cash my tickets, you know how long I waited for a human to walk up.
Oh,
10 minutes.
No one was there.
And I sat there just to see. I was like, I'm going to sit here and see how long until somebody recognizes that I'm here.
Is there seating in the book?
Oh, yeah. The book's nice. Book's really nice.
Yeah. Okay. So the really pictures you sent me was from the book.
Cage is on the other side of the entire casino. There's the book.
It's not there.
It's on the other side, complete other side of the casino. So I walk all the way over and I'm just sitting there and I'm waiting. And a woman's like, "Sir, I'll be right with you." I'm like, okay, waiting. 10 minutes later, a guy comes from the back and he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "I'm going to cash a ticket."
It's probably on his lunch break or a bathroom break.
I don't know. Comes over and cashes the ticket. Like, do you want to? He's like, "You want to cash or do you want to bet again?" I go, "No, cash. Give me cash." Goes ahead and cashes me out. And I said to him, so I said, "I'm just curious, how many tickets a day do you guys cash out of here?" He goes, "Oh, it really depends upon weekends could be busy, but during the weekday, I don't know, like 5 or 6 a day." So like they don't like the volume for cashing is tiny because most people are betting on the app.
Right. That's a long day.
He's like, people who bet on the app when they're watching the games or when they're betting on the app. They're watching at the book, but they're betting on the app. They're not using the kiosks. They're not using paper tickets. And the paper tickets they're giving out, someone needs to get with DraftKings as well, because the CVS receipt level of the size of the ticket, what do we do?
They always start out that way because they don't know what to leave off. So they put everything on there. As when we went to West Virginia and they actually got a ticket to print for a test ticket, I said, this is not going to work. I mean, I needed 2 hands to hold it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like, this is a straight bet, guys.
I was like, why is this so long? I was like, why is it this? And I was like, okay, it's whatever. But I was like, we got to shrink this thing down. Like, we don't need a ticket to be like this. Like, come on.
Right.
No. This is a bit ridiculous. Just so we're keeping track of it. We're keeping track of the Kalshi story. You can add Montana and Maryland into the states that have issued cease and desist letters to Kalshi. 6 now. 6 and counting.
Everybody's mounting up. Just like, Warren G said in Regulate. Mount up. They're doing it. States are making their case and sending these C and D letters, like the lawyers like to call it, a C and D. Just like to say that. Cease and desist. For those of you that aren't lawyers or don't know or don't want to bother Chicago Christian right now. 6 states. There's going to be more. But, Kalshi's making moves too. They got Sarah Slane involved.
They do.
I tweeted that this morning. I read
Kalshi hired Sarah Slane. I didn't see that.
They're on it. They're mounting up their prediction market side.
Wow, they hired Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's going to be your retort to the American Gaming Association.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I asked that question yesterday.
Yep.
And said exactly that. I was like, wait a second. So they went and hired her.
So they're going to go after.
What the hell?
Wow. So we'll obviously cover that. We'll watch it. That fight's going to be interesting. That's like watching, battle in the old time days when they're all getting ready to line up on the battlefield. Like they're just putting their stuff in place to get ready to go. And that's going to be a hell of a war once they say go. Time for better to go. All right.
The headline on that article said ex-AGA exec advisor to ex-AGA exec / advisor to leagues and teams, Sarah Slane has joined sports betting disruptor Kalshi.
What outlet wrote that headline?
Sportsbusinessjournal.com.
Interesting. Okay. So they're playing ball too. Okay. Good to see everyone's playing ball. Kalshi is a sports betting disruptor. Ooh, okay. Some might call it just an illegal outfit, but that's okay. Like you can just call it what it is, but that's fine.
What they're doing.
That's
they're told they're not doing it.
It's cold in Boston, and they got Garrett Crochet throwing against the Blue Jays. Give me the Red Sox run line today. 3-0, 5-2 in the 2 games so far for Crochet. He's coming off of an 8-inning appearance, no earned runs, and 8 Ks. Good luck, Toronto. It's going to be 25 at first pitch.
Jeez. One place is 220 right now on the money line. It's minus 190 though, but it's minus 195 or minus 200. A couple places just said, well, those guys are talking about it right now on Boston University, the book, and they're giving out the run line. We better move the money line. Huh. What's the total? I hate laying the run line on the total. 7.5.
Yeah, it's tiny.
8. Yeah. It's probably a bet.
3-0 Red Sox. They win the game. Or 3-1 Red Sox. They won't score more, but I don't see Toronto getting 1 or none. Yes. It's freaking raw. Yeah, it's cold. It's raw. It is not baseball weather. And having to hit 100-mile-per-hour fastball from the left side. Good luck. Good luck with wooden bats. And then finally, I'm betting every game over 8.5. Padres A's came in yesterday.
Just bet this until it loses.
Yep. Just keep on betting it.
There's no. What's the pitching matchup there? Oh, Cease. I don't know. Well, it's 8 now.
It's down. Good. Get over. Good. Bet over.
8 with over minus 15 is
weather is going to be beautiful in Sacramento tonight.
Yeah. The A's are hitting home runs too. I mean, it ain't just it's not just a visiting team. Nope. It's not just
I mean, they're down 3-0 and they came back and they lost the game 5-4, but they came all the way back last night. So got plus money on it last night. Over. Let's go, Brendan. All right. Yes, it's an over park. They're 5-0 to the over so far in that park.
Correct.
So
thank you, Chris Warren. Yes.
4-0. Sorry, 4-0 to the over so far. Yes, keep on betting it. It's over until they adjust. Until this number becomes 9, 9.5. Just keep on betting 8 and 8.5 over to get to 9 runs or more. Favorite thing about today is what?
Tigers won again. Beat the
Yankees.
Nice.
Good. Keep doing it.
Good. That's done. But my other favorite thing about today, obviously, circus on. That was nice to reach out to somebody, get a response, and be like, come on the show. So that was fun. But my favorite thing about today so far has been the City Connect uniforms are being released, and they already had City Connect uniforms, and they're like doing it again.
Okay.
And I love the merch.
You do.
And Fanatics, if you're listening, we'll do a deal.
Yes.
I mean,
will.
I'm working on something for a local guy here.
Ooh.
That maybe we'll do a discount code, and we'll have people when you come to Vegas,
mention
us, and you go see it and get whatever you want. Get geared up for the playoffs. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs are coming. Baseball season, they have a great selection. So got to get that locked down. But these City Connect uniforms, I tweeted it out earlier. I don't know. San Francisco just added purple to the uniform. They have the uniform now.
Okay.
City Connect, and it's a vibe. And I don't know if I vibed with it. Like, I don't like it.
It's a vibe, but I don't know if
I did not. So I'm going to wait till the kid comes home today. I'm going to ask Kendall what she thinks of it. And wow, Corbin says the Giants' new City Connect is so much better compared to their last ones. Now, the last ones were white with some bright orange in them and the Golden Gate Bridge. They were very clean. These, they look like suns. They look like the Phoenix Suns now. And I don't know if I'm just, I don't know. My favorite thing about today is that we're talking about the uniforms of the San Francisco Giants instead of their great start, everything else. And now things are coming full circle. So that I just had to mention that. If you see that, if you go on my Twitter, it's right there at SportsBK, and say, let me know if you connect with that City Connect, because and you asked me the other day about the Cubs one. I think the Cubs one with the baby blue, they might be trying too hard. Like, I don't need the Cubs to have a baby blue. I don't think so. But not besmirching anybody in Chicago. Cubs are a good baseball team. I'm starting to come around to the fact that they may win a division. So, but I don't know if I'm going to get one of those. I like the Cubs uniforms the way they are.
I'm psyched to watch this Easton Lucas kid pitch for Toronto, because I think he's going to be in for lefties at Fenway have oftentimes gone there and died. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen tonight with that, because people are saying that this is the night to bet Toronto. Okay, sure. On you on that. No, I'm on the Red Sox. Really the only thing. I love this week. I hate today, but I love this week. Tuesday after the championship game is a thud. It's a dud. It's a fuck. Like, it's just we're done with college sports until August. And like that. And I know that there's college baseball, and I know the College World Series. I lived in Omaha and I covered the series. I know how fun it is. I get it. But it's nothing compared to college football, and it's nothing compared to college basketball. And so we enter into this April, May, June, July, 4-month stretch of sort of a desert with college sports. And I get kind of sad by that, but at least it's Masters week. And at least we start to get into golf, and we get into, watching the PGA Tour and watching the majors. I really hope that the Live Tour and the PGA Tour can figure out this stupid argument. We can get the best golfers on the courses together. Like, can we please put them together, just because I want to watch great golf, and I want to watch great golfers, and not have the geopolitical conversations that go on constantly with all of this stuff. So I hope that's good, but it's Masters week, and I've only been to the Masters once. I went to the Wednesday par 3, saw Jack, I think it was the last time that Jack, Arnold Palmer,
Chi-Chi.
And no, it wasn't Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi already passed. It was the
Gary
other guy.
Player?
Thank you. Gary Player, who wore all black. Saw them walk and watch them play the par 3, walk the course. And so whenever it's Masters week, it's always a nice memory of that, and how amazing that golf course is, and how pristine that golf course is. And, yes, as Kristen said earlier in the chat, Thursday and Friday is difficult to get people to respond to email. So if you're going to email people, you may want to do it today and tomorrow, because once the tournament starts, people tend to not pay attention. But it is Masters week. So favorite thing about
a lot of golf experts out there this week, boys and girls. Just pump the brakes. There's a
have
lot
fun.
Of golf. Yeah.
It's an awesome tournament to bet when it's you're sprinkling and dabbling. Don't go crazy. This is not the tournament to go nuts on. Have fun with it. Hit a long shot, bet some cool bets, have some fun with it, have some action, but don't be stupid. People come out firing massive amounts of money on long shots.
The other thing about everything about today, I just remembered this because I saw him in the chat. Chris Otto, he sends me a text yesterday and says he has Florida at 30-1.
Okay.
He takes Houston +2 as the hedge.
Nice.
So he does that before the game, and then he says, I said, well, you got to be ready for end game. He's like, I can't. It's bowling night.
Oh, no.
I said, bowling night? What do you mean? He said, bowling night, Monday night. The guy's a tremendous bowler. I said, what is your average right now? He said, 222.
Wow.
I said, all right, I'm going to give you a total. 653. He said, no, I have to bet that over. I have to get over that.
Okay.
Because 222 times 3 is 666. So that's what he would bowls his average. He's going to throw 666. I do that in my head, and I give him 653, knowing damn well it's a bad number and I should bet it over. I said, but if you're distracted because you're watching that game, you might bowl under. Well, little did I know that, he bowled a 212 the first game, 250 something the second game. So he's way over pace.
Whoa.
Smokes it, just comes up short of a 700 series. So he bowled way over his average, kicked ass, and hit the side and wins the big bet. So he doesn't lose anything on the hedge, wins the big bet, and went over the total.
That's tremendous. What are you seeing for a Laker number right now before we go?
Let me hit refresh. Oh, boy.
They're all playing. What's the number now?
Boy. 9.5/10 at three places. Whoa.
Luka, LeBron, Reeves, Finney-Smith, Vincent are all probable. They're playing them all. So if you got 15.5 on the Lakers, congratulations. You're going to have amazing CLV.
It's going to go away very quickly. That's good. Wow.
So there you go. Guys, good stuff. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for coming in and being a part of the show. We're back tomorrow, same place, same time for a Wednesday. More on the Masters tomorrow for the Bostonian versus the Book.